and the topic for today is CCNA. So if you are someone who is willing to get started with the field of networking, or someone who is confused whether CCNA is relevant in 2025 or not, or maybe someone who wants to explore this certification, then this particular video is for you. Today we are going to speak everything related to CCNA, starting from the content of it, then the job roles that you can land into after completing CCNA, then the salaries that you can expect after completing CCNA, some study tips, some books, some resources that you can refer to, a lot many things, right? So let's get started without wasting any time and understand what are these certifications. The very first thing is understanding what is CCNA and how it can help you in getting started in the field of networking, right? So CCNA is one of the certification offered by Cisco. Cisco is a tech giant that leads, we can say, in the field of networking, and offers different certification, different levels of certification, and CCNA is one of them. Let's understand what are the different levels of certifications.
If you enjoyed the content of the video, don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to our channel.
So this comes to us from Cisco. Cisco has three levels of certification, in which first level is CCNA, second level is CCNP, and the third level is CCIE. CCNA stands for Cisco Certified Network Associate. Then we have CCNP. CCNP stands for Cisco Certified Network Professional, the second level. Then we have CCIE, the third and the final level, Cisco Certified Inter-Network Expert. As the name defines, CCNA is the associate level, or you can say the most basic level of the certification. Then CCNP works as the professional level or the level 2. And then CCIE, the expert level, is the final level, the level 3. The question is, how is it still relevant in 2025, even when there is so much of the advanced technologies, right? CCNA can be a great choice if you are someone who wants to get into the field of networking. It has great benefits. It has a great combination of topics that can help you in understanding the networking world, right? You not just get the fundamentals of everything, but you also get the idea what are the scopes of networking. It can help you in understanding what can be your core, or you can say what can be your profession when you lead further in the world of networking. Because networking is not just about routing and switching. It contains security, it contains automation, it contains wireless, and so many other verticals. So it is the decision maker, or you can say it is the point where you explore them and try to figure out which one you like and can be something which you can continue your career in, right? So it is quite important and can help you a lot and benefit you a lot, right? So we'll first quickly go through the topics of CCNA. We'll go through the content of CCNA, and then I'll come back to some more details on CCNA, how you can study and what are the job opportunities related to CCNA. This is the official content provided by Cisco for CCNA, right? And there are 6 categories if you see. The first category is network fundamentals. Then we have the category of network access. Then we have the category of IP connectivity, and then IP services. Then we have security fundamentals and automation. So these are the verticals that you are going to explore. Let's understand what's there in the first category, which is network fundamentals. Now, CCNA works as the stepping stone for anyone who is willing to enter the field or wants to build a career in the field of networking. So you need to understand the fundamentals very correctly so that you can proceed or you can progress further in the career of networking, right? So here in the fundamentals, you get to know about devices. You learn about routers, what are the switches, how the next generation firewalls work, what are access points, what are controllers, what are endpoints, what are servers, what is power over Ethernet, all the devices. So if I tell you something about them, routers are the main, you can say, devices which routes the packet from one network to the other network. So we can say if you are able to communicate over the internet, there is a major, or you can say an important role which router is playing in that. Then switches are something that we use for connecting multiple devices, right? You might have visited some computer lab and might have observed there are, let's say, 15 devices, 20 devices, and they all can speak to each other, right? So what's basically doing that, or what's making it possible? It's a switch. So we connect multiple devices with switch and can make them communicate or maybe put them on a network. Similarly, firewalls are there to protect our network from threats or malicious traffic. So when we expose our network over internet, it becomes available to the hackers as well, right? Who don't have a good intent. So they might put some attacks or might try to steal my data. And firewalls are important to secure myself from them. Similarly, we have access points. Access points are used for wireless networks. So you must have observed, like when you maybe go to some cafe or some restaurant, you might have observed that you get the access of Wi-Fi on all the floors, right? So does that mean they have different Wi-Fi routers? No, it's access point which we use for spreading or broadcasting the waves. Access points are used basically for providing you the access to the wireless networks and giving you a connectivity on different floors. Then endpoints are nothing but the devices that we use, like laptop, the computer, the smartphones, all these devices which require an IP address. Servers can be required for different purposes and have their different responsibilities. There can be web servers, there can be data servers, and so on. Then power over Ethernet is a technology that allows you to give power to the devices over the Ethernet. That's about some basic devices. I'll obviously not be able to talk about every topic in the content, but yeah, these are few devices that we operate with in networks. Now, you have got a bit understanding of networking, right? That's how CCNA proceeds. It takes you from the very basics to some advanced topics. You will talk about devices, you will talk about networks, then you will compare different cabling standards, you will learn about important concepts like OSI, like TCP/IP. You get to know about concepts like TCP and UDP, which are the transport protocols. Then similarly, you learn about IPv4 addressing, subnetting. So just giving you some idea on that, IPv4 addressing means providing IP addresses to the laptops or the computers so that they can communicate, right? Now, there can be some devices which might require, or you can say there can be some situations where you might require 100 IP addresses, right? Then there can be a situation where your lab might have 500 devices, similarly 1000 devices. So these requirements can vary, right? So in CCNA, you learn how to create a network for them, how to fulfill the requirement while ensuring that we don't waste IP addresses. So such kind of things are something that we discuss in IPv4 addressing and subnetting. Then what are the private IPs, what are the public IPs, all of that. Different types of communications, unicast, anycast, multicast, what is modified EUI64, which is related to IPv6. Then some more understanding on wireless concepts, what are SSID, what are the radio frequencies, how to ensure that channels don't overlap each other, what is the encryption standard, and so on. Then a few more details on switching concepts, like what is MAC address, how the frames are flooded, how frame switching operates between the devices, all of that. Then this second category that we have, network access, it's all about layer 2. So if you have some understanding or some basic knowledge of OSI, you'd be able to understand what is layer 2, right? But if let's say you are someone who is looking at networking for the first time, then just understand whatever is done with the help of a normal switch is something that we consider at layer 2, like creating VLANs. Now, what is a VLAN? It is virtual local area network. So you want to divide multiple devices into groups. For example, one group is for sales team, other group is for tech team, third group is for HR team. So that can be achieved with the help of VLANs. Similarly, there are a few more concepts related to it, like trunk ports, native VLAN 802.1q tagging. Then we speak about CDP, LLDP in networking, which is about discovering the neighbors. Then Ether channels, where we bundle the links together. Like if I want to connect two devices together, but over multiple cables, then I can use Ether channels there. Then we have the concept of SGP, which stands for Spanning Tree Protocol, a very important concept protocol that allows us to create redundant topology while ensuring that there is no loop of data. So such basic things, right? You get to know about everything, you learn about networks. Then there are concepts related to wireless, HTTP, HTTPS. Then under IP connectivity, we get to learn about different routing protocols like RIP, like EIGR, like OSPF. So RIP, EIGRP, OSPF, they give you a great sense of understanding how packet travels from one network to the other, considering different aspects, different, we can say, characteristics, and so on. So we get to learn about routing, we get to know how routers operate, then we get to know about different options that we have to configure routing between two networks. It can be done using static routing or dynamic routing. Under dynamic routing, we have these three protocols. Now, as per the official content of Cisco, you will not find much about REP or EIGRP. We just discuss OSPF here. But if you do the training through PyNet Labs, we believe in giving you good information on REP and EIGRP as well. Why? Because EIGRP is something that is still used in production environments. So it is going to help you a lot, even if you are trying to look for some job, right? So EIGRP knowledge is must required. REP is almost obsolete. No one uses it, but it gives you a good understanding on basics. So that's why we talk about it. We do discuss it in our trainings. Then we talk everything related to routing. We talk about what are the prefix matches, what are the administrative distance, what are the protocol metrics, then how default route can be configured, what are the network routes, and so on, right? Whatever you see in the content, all of that, plus obviously some additional topics, like I said. IP services now. IP services includes things like network address translation. Now I'll give you some very amazing insight here. So there are two types of IP addresses, public IP addresses and private IP addresses. These are paid, you have to pay money, and these are free. So what we do basically, let's say this is my switch and there are 20 devices connected to the switch. The switch takes me to a router and then router connects me to internet. Now what happens basically, to speak with internet, you need a public IP for which you have to pay money, right? That means if I want these 20 devices to speak with internet, I will need 20 IP for which I'll have to pay money. But that's something which can be done easily with the help of network address translation. How? We'll use private IP here on these 20 devices, and we will configure network address translation on the router, and we will put a public IP here on one interface of the router. What will happen when these 20 devices will try to communicate with internet? IP will be translated from this point to this point. The public IP will be used when we'll be speaking to the internet. What are we doing here? We can say we are saving our money of 19 IP addresses. So instead of taking 20 public IP, I'll take one and I'll translate all of my 20 IP addresses into that one public IP. Now, how that works, what are the, you can say, configurations that we need to implement for that, what are the things that we have to keep in mind, all of that is obviously something that you will get to learn in the training, right? So, but yeah, that's the concept which we cover under IP services. Similarly, we have a very important concept, DHCP here, which is the dynamic way of providing IP address to end devices. Let's assume you have 500 devices. So putting IP on those 500 devices is a very difficult task, right? So you can use DHCP to do that dynamically. Then some more concepts like SNMP, like QoS, which is quality of services. So QoS is basically giving importance to some type of data. Let's say your organization has 50 devices. Out of those 50 employees, only 10 are actually working, and the remaining 40 are, let's say, just scrolling through YouTube, maybe playing some online games and doing some random stuff, right? But those 10 are on, let's say, a conference call. So it is important that those 10 individuals should get enough bandwidth, or you can say enough speed in layman language, so that they don't have to face any latency, right? I can sacrifice my internet speed for employee who is looking on YouTube, watching YouTube, playing games, right? But I cannot sacrifice the speed with the employee who is, let's say, on an important call. So ensuring that we prioritize that employee or that data is what QoS is all about, right? So that's about something we discuss under QoS. Then some remote management protocol like SSH and stuff. After that comes the security fundamentals, where you get to know about security concepts. Remember, I said CCNA will give you insights on all the verticals of networking. So here you will get the introduction to security as well. You'll get to learn what are ACLs, how to perform network filtering, how to make sure that your users are getting authenticated, how to protect your network devices with a password, all of that, right? So all these topics are there which we speak about: ARP inspection, DHCP snooping, port security, what are VPNs, what are the different mechanisms that can be used for ensuring a secure network. Then finally, we have the automation and programmability, which basically is about automating your configurations. Now you have learned that how to do configurations, but there are so many other responsibilities that you have to take care of, right? So automation and programmability gives you the ability of writing Python scripts for performing your job. Yeah, you heard that right. So we get the introduction to that as well, where we can explore and learn about how automation can help me in minimizing my responsibilities and the tasks assigned to me. That's about the content of CCNA. And anyone who wishes to go for the CCNA certification should be well prepared with all the topics which are mentioned here in the content. Now the question is how to prepare, or what are some resources that you can refer to for preparing for the CCNA, right? The very first thing is, if I talk about resources, the very first and strong recommendation is the official certification guide. So Cisco, along with the certification, also releases an official certification guide, which we usually call as OCG. And this is used for understanding and learning the topics that are there in the content. So every topic which is a part of, you can say, the exam or CCNA will be discussed in this official certification guide. So it's a very, very amazing resource. And anyone who is getting started or has completed the training, or anyone who wants to get a strong understanding on the topics of networking should read this particular book, Official Certification Guide by Cisco. What else? Honestly speaking, nothing else. This book covers everything, everything. If you go through this book in a detailed manner, you are more than well prepared. Other than that, if you want to go through the recordings or let's say some online training, then we do deliver CCNA trainings. There are public batches for CCNA by PyNet Labs. So you can enroll yourself into those batches. If you are looking for some free content, then we also have a YouTube playlist for CCNA available in languages Hindi and English. Whatever is your preferred language, you can study in that language. They are available for free on our YouTube channel, so you can explore those playlists as well. Other than that, the fourth thing is a Cisco's provided tool called Cisco Packet Tracer. Now, when you will do study about CCNA, there will be practical part as well. So I'll talk about some mistakes that people make. They pay a lot of attention on theory, but they don't do practical labs. They don't do labs, right? Our trainings at PyNet Lab are extensively focused on both the aspects, theory as well as labs. And how do we do those labs? We do those labs through Cisco's Packet Tracer. So if you are someone who is preparing for CCNA, a strong suggestion is that do consider practicing labs. A hands-on experience of practical part is also required to get your certification, or maybe to get placed in the industry at least, right? So Cisco Packet Tracer is a tool that can help you in achieving that. I'll quickly give you a glimpse of that. This is how Cisco Packet Tracer looks like. The white area that you see is your logical workspace. You can build your topology here. You can add devices, connect the cables, and maybe do some twist and tweaks to prepare your topology. You can get it for free, first of all, from Cisco's website. There is a dedicated video on how to use Cisco Packet Tracer on our YouTube channel. You can look through that. We have explained everything that you need to know related to Packet Tracer in that particular video. But yeah, this is how it looks like. These are the devices. These are some routers that you can add. Then we have some end devices like PC, laptop, switches, and so many other things. So if you want to place a PC, that's how simple it is. Place the PC, you want to connect them, put a cable connection between them. And then you can build your topologies just like that, simply on Packet Tracer, and can practice whatever you like to do. That's about Packet Tracer. Other than that, like I suggested, official certification guide is something that you should refer to. Then maybe you can enroll yourself for the CCNA training, or otherwise the YouTube playlist is available for everyone, right? Now I'll talk about some common mistakes that people make while preparing for CCNA. Some common mistakes that I find people making while preparing for CCNA are relying on theory. Theory is definitely important, is something that will help you in cracking your interviews. But along with that, the practical knowledge, the configurational knowledge is, you can say, much required, right? So you need to be sure that along with studying the theory, you need to prepare yourself for the practical part as well, the lab part as well. Second thing is skipping the fundamentals. What does that mean? Sometimes we think that we can ignore the basics and can directly jump onto advanced topics to get the certification quickly. But that's not correct. This might help you in getting certification, but trust me, you will struggle a lot when you will practice networking. Understanding the fundamentals is the core step that you can make in ensuring that you have a career in networking, right? So if your fundamentals are not clear, if your basics are not clear, you will struggle a lot in understanding advanced technologies. So skipping the fundamentals is not something that you should be doing. Then people don't keep themselves updated. I should add a don't here. The mistake is to not keeping yourself updated. You should be updated about the recent trends. You should be updated about the recent innovations, about the recent, you can say, announcements from Cisco. And you should be, as a network engineer, keeping yourself updated with the every information that can be helpful to you, right? So these are some common mistakes, and I'm hoping that after watching this video, you will not make them, right? Now let's talk about the career opportunities. So after getting yourself a CCNA certification, you can expect a career related to network engineering. So first of all, a job role that you can expect is of a network engineer. A network engineer is responsible for, you can say, deploying networks, designing networks, maintaining networks, troubleshooting networks, and so on. Similarly, we have a job role called system administration or system administrator, which you can get after getting a CCNA certification. Then you can become a network support specialist, and so on. That kind of relevant roles can be something that you can land into after getting your CCNA certification. And like I said, it is a stepping stone. As you proceed further in your career, you may look forward to getting yourself CCNP certified or maybe CCIE certified. And once you get these higher certifications, very obviously your salaries would be increased, your responsibilities obviously will be increased, your network positions, I mean the position of your job will be increased, and so on. Now, if I talk about the potential salary that a CCNA certified can get in 2025, it is anywhere between, I mean, more than 3 lakhs anyhow. So, and trust me, as a starting point, it's a great package that you can get after getting your CCNA. And like I said, it's a stepping stone. If you proceed further, if you do well, you can land anywhere between, trust me, 30, 40, 50 lakhs after you are, let's say, the CCIE or you have a good experience in the field. So it's a definitely good option to build a career in. So at the end, as a conclusion, I would like to tell you that if you are someone who has been waiting for or maybe spending some time in exploring CCNA, then this is the time when you take the action and you start studying about it, right? So don't just keep exploring, get onto it, get onto studying CCNA, get the benefits out of it, build your career in networking, and enjoy the benefits of getting yourself certified, because certifications helps a lot. They can give you a good kickstart in your career and can help you in achieving a lot, right? So stay consistent when you study. Don't just pick it up and then drop it for maybe after a week or after 2 weeks of preparation. Keep yourself consistent. Your goal is not CCNA, your goal should be CCIE, right? So you have to study and keep yourself updating and upgrading until you reach your goal. At the end, I would like to ask you that if you enjoyed the video or if you have any sort of questions related to it, I would request you to put a comment in the comment box. Let us know what are your queries. We would be more than happy to help you out. And if you liked the video, do subscribe our channel, like this video, and thank you so much. That was all for today. I hope you enjoyed this.